Morning, guys. Thanks for dropping in again. If I look a bit rough, it's because I am. I haven't had a lot of sleep. I've been studying and studying and studying, and if it's smell-o-vision, you won't like it. So, firstly, let's just go over what happened yesterday. I thought we might have a turn up in the first race with Gobley Clover and Camper Cliffs. I didn't think they were that far clear of the other runners. A lot far off, but Escape looked like it might just do them and then flatten out. But it was a good race. I enjoyed it, and that's what it's all about. Second race saw a return to form with a well-backed Prohibit, and that was nice to see all the connections happy, happier than your normal millionaire connections that have winners all the time. Do you know what I mean? Frankel, brilliant. The guy Quealy rode a perfect race, won the race, which is that's what his job is. Doesn't matter whether he's won by a length or 10 lengths. He did his job. He might have made the guy who put 150 grand on to win 50 sweat a bit, but he's got too much money as a guy, so he could have lost. Coventry Stakes was a good race for us. We had Mesmer place lay of the day, which did us a good turn. And then I suggested what three runners we had, and I had an exacta combination exacta, £47.80 for a quid. So that was good if you followed me in there. And then the selection yesterday, which was La Estrella each way and the small win bet. Of course, just run out of fourth place, as you might imagine. So a loser. Ran well, 50 to 1, ran well, but still a loser, can't count. Last race, Frederick Engels won quite well. Continued improvement and won quite well. So, Wednesday's racing, it's much more open today. Not as a good class, but a little bit more open. But the only problem is fillies races, and I don't like them. I don't back in them, with the very, very odd exception. First race is Jersey Stakes, and again, it's a competitive affair as usual, but it's not very good on quality compared to what they are some years. Richard Annan's strong suit has lost his way a bit, and his best watch maybe until showing some sort of return to form. Fiore is a shocking price on anything that is done, and he's going to be my first place lay of the day at around 1.97. Western Aristocrat is also a poor price, and not for me. He, I think, needs to improve £10 to take hand in the finish. Oracle has had his sights set high, and so far not really attained them. Even though he's gradually improving, he may fare better later in the season, or I think as a 4-year-old. I think there's only two horses that you could back to win in this race, and they're the French challenger, Havana Smoker, however you pronounce it, but who I think has been ridden poor at last twice, and got there a bit too soon. But with Christopher Sumilon taking over, we could see some improvement. But I think even so, he's going to have it all on to beat the rapidly improving Codemaster from the end of Candy Yard, who looks to have everything in his favour today, going, conditions, everything, But it's not my sort of price, 341. It's too short. You don't make no money back in there, so no bet for me. 305 race. It's another fillies race. So again, not a betting medium for me, because of the nature of how fillies run. If I were having a bet, maybe I would plug for the improving I'm a Dreamer, but my worry with her would be the slower ground. I think, even though it's quickened up a little bit today, I think that it might be fast enough. Prince of Wales has been the target of the ex-Australian, and so you think ever since he's arrived over here, he's won both his warm-up races with ease. Well placed really to win those. They weren't the best races, and it will be no surprise at all for me to see him beaten. And I certainly won't back him. Now the Royal Cup, this is my kind of race, as everyone who follows me knows. I go for the harder the race, the better I do, and this is one of those races. It's fast paced, all the form comes to the front. They're all spread around the track. There's plenty of room. Nowhere for them to hide. So, start right. Not for me. Perfect combination of Fallon and Kumani, but in such a hot race, his form it isn't good enough. If he wins, then, but I don't think he will. Dance and Dance has a good chance, but this is a totally different track to Epsom. He won Cosley and did all my subscribers a favour, but I don't think he'll do it again. Montegel is improving steadily, but it's a big step up for him, and I got to overlook him. I've narrowed it down just to four runners, but unfortunately, if you want to know what they are, you're going to have to subscribe to the $29.99 job, and I hope that you will, and you'll find out what they are, and they'll come in for you. 5 o'clock, another fillies race, and again, not betting race for me. Shamusa's form was given a boost yesterday by Frederick Engels, but a lot of today's other runners could improve marketing, particularly with me fillies, and what they've done so far. And to take such a short price for me is stupid. She might win, but not for me. if I were going to have a bet, I would be having a small bet, place bet on Vocational and Dozy. Because when I saw them actually in the flesh, both of them last time, they look like they got plenty of scope and more to give. Last race of the day is another fillies race. Not my favourite type of betting race, as you know, but I'm going to have a small bet myself. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else because I wouldn't give it a selection, but if you want to have a small, it's up to you, but I wouldn't because it's a fillies race, and I don't. But I just think that Cape Dollar in this race at 16 to 1 took a few races to come to form last year, and they've given her a break since the last run, beginning of May. She's had 6 weeks virtually. She could have come on a lot for that break, and she could be ready to go in. And if she gets peak form, she'll win this. She got that weight because she deserves it, and she'll win it. So I'm going to have myself a small half stake bet on this and hope for the best. I hope you're popping again tomorrow. I hope you subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, just have a look at the Betting League site. There's some free tips on there. Those guys, they're free, some of them, and some of them are nearly as good as me. You're nearly as good as me, but you get what you pay for, don't you? So have a look at those. Subscribe to some of those. And if you've got some dosh spare rattling around, subscribe to me. And I hope I'll make it benefit you sometime with that. Cheers. See you again.